So now that we've defined addition and multiplication, what I want us to do is to compute the addition table. So let's say we want to create a complete addition table for, let's go with Z5. So this is just like when you learn how to add numbers. So we're going to make a table that represents the addition of any two elements from Z5. So we're going to make our addition table here, and across the top and the side, you're going to put all of your congruence classes, all of your elements of Z5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Across the top, and then also across the side. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so you're going to fill in this table. So the way we do it, right, is you pick any spot here, and you're going to add the row and column numbers to get that entry. So if I add 0 plus 0, I get the equivalence class of 0. So that's what goes here. And your table would be the equivalence class of 0. Okay, so then you're going to add to get the next entry here, the equivalence class of 1 plus the equivalence class of 0 would be the equivalence class of 1. So you'll get the equivalence class 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's go ahead and go across the first row. So if I take 0 and 1, you add them, you're going to get 1. 0 and 2, 2. 0 and 3, 3. 0 and 4, 4. Okay, so we filled in the first row and the first column. Now let's fill in the second row and column. So if I add 1 and 1 together, I get the equivalence class 2. 1 and 2, I get the equivalence class 3. 1 and 3, I get the equivalence class of 4. Okay, so then here we're adding the equivalence class of 4 plus the equivalence class. You always add the one on the left plus the one on the top. You get 5. But remember, we're working in Z5. And so we need to reduce this down. What's my remainder when I divide 5 by 5? The remainder is 0. So you're going to get the equivalence class of 0 here. Okay, and then go across. You're going to add equivalence class of 1 and equivalence class of 2. That will be 3. 2 and 2 give you 4. 3 and 2 give you 5, which again is 0. And then if I look at that last one, the equivalence class of 4 plus the equivalence class of 2, we get the equivalence class of 6. The remainder when I divide 6 by 5 is 1. So I get the equivalence class 1. And then you're going to fill in the last two columns. So let's see, if I add, let's go ahead and go, we haven't filled in across yet. You can either work column by column or column and row. It doesn't matter. I like to work column by column, so let's do column by column. So now we're going to do this column. You're going to take 1 and 3 and add them together, so you get 4. 2 and 3 give you 5, which is the same thing as 0. 3 and 3 is 6, which is the same thing as 1. If you add 4 and 3 together, what are we going to get? So 4 plus 3, we get 7. The remainder when I divide 7 by 5 is 2. So you're going to put a 2 in there. And then we're going to do the last column here. So if I take 1 plus 4, that's the equivalence class of 5, which we said is 0. 2 and 4 is 6, which is the same thing as 1. 3 and 4 is 7, which we said is 2. So the last one is 4 plus 4. If I add 4 plus 4 together, you get 8. The remainder when I divide 8 by 5 is 3. So that's what goes here. So this is our addition table for Z5, and it tells us how to add the results of adding any two elements from Z5 together. It tells us how to add them and what we get. Okay, so on your own, you should do this practice problem. If you understand how that table works, you should create a complete addition table for Z6. And you would find this table in your textbook in section 2.2.